She sat in the corner of the calmed shack, always facing the wall, headset on, clipboard beside her, old-style receiver patched into a junction box no one else touched. Most people called her Ma'am. Some called her Patch. No one used her first name, if they even knew it. She didn't speak unless the mic light was red, didn't eat with the team, didn't ask questions, didn't leave. Even when the wind outside tore across the landing ridge or the power flickered during storm drills, she stayed. Always facing the radio. Always listening. Petty Officer Dane Holbrook was new to the post, fresh from comms school, sharp with signal flow, satellite timing, packet loss mitigation. He could reprogram a relay drone faster than most officers could say. Encrypted. So when he first stepped into the shack and saw her sitting there, cross-legged and still, he assumed she was logistics. "Ma'am, I'm here to take the evening shift," he said. She didn't move. The mic light was on. Holbrook waited. She spoke into the line, voice low, clipped, calm. "Viper 3, your breath rate just changed. Say again, all clear." A pause. A faint reply from the headset. Even fainter worry in it. She adjusted one dial. Pressed the transmit again. "Do not confirm safe unless you are. You're dragging the second syllable in actual. That only happens when you're bleeding or lying." Another pause. Then, correction. Ambush. Repositioning now. She leaned back, turned off the mic light. Only then did she look at Holbrook. "Evening shift's yours, but leave that console live. I'll use the fallback line." Holbrook blinked. "Fallback?" She tapped the analog receiver box on her left. "Doesn't need a satellite, just needs ears." Later that night, Holbrook checked the logs. She'd been manning the fallback line every night for 6 months. No official order. No signature. But 6 confirmed reroutes had come from her frequency. All listed as operator unknown. He didn't know who she was. But now, he watched the red light. And when it glowed, he stayed quiet. Just like she did. The next morning, Holbrook waited by the coffee machine outside the comms shack. She arrived at 0540. Same gray windbreaker. Same boots. Same calm pace. He cleared his throat as she passed. "Ma'am? Just wanted to say, you were right about Viper 3. That signal drift was subtle." She paused, looked at him. Not annoyed. Not warm. Just quiet. "You logged the tape?" "Yes, ma'am. Tagged it for review." "Don't." Holbrook blinked. "Why not?" She looked toward the ridgeline, where the extraction bird had landed the night before. "They didn't ask to be remembered for panicking." Then she walked inside. Holbrook followed a minute later. Sat at the secondary console. Booted up diagnostics. Tried not to glance at her station too often. She didn't face him. Didn't speak. Just adjusted one knob. Then another. Then closed her eyes and listened. He tried again. "I haven't seen a fallback rig like that since field training. Most teams rely fully on satellite relays now." She didn't turn. "You don't read the signal," she said. "You read the hesitation." "What kind of hesitation?" "The kind they don't know they're sending." Later that day, he asked the sergeant who'd been stationed longest. "Who is she?" "Used to run long range for Delta units in mountain ops." "No record of that." "She doesn't leave one." "What's her call sign?" The sergeant tapped a patch on an old locker wall. A faded triangle with a single word beneath it. Whisper. Used to be her handle. No one used it around her after Kabul. Holbrook frowned. "Why?" "Because when Whisper spoke, someone lived." That evening, Holbrook returned to the shack early. She was already there. Same chair. Same posture. Same mic. Only this time, he noticed something new. A faded notebook tucked beside the receiver. Handwritten. Dozens of pages. No dates. No headers. Just callouts. Times, corrections, and names. One per page. He reached for it. She didn't look away from the console. But her voice cut clean. "Don't touch that." He froze. She continued without turning. "Those are the ones who didn't make it back. I still check their last frequency every week." Holbrook didn't speak. Didn't need to. He just sat down, headset on, back straight, and listened. The way she did. The new techs arrived that week. Clean uniforms, bright eyes, fast fingers. The kind of confidence that came from simulations and certifications. Holbrook didn't mind them. But they talked too loud in the comms shack. One afternoon, as he calibrated the narrowband array, two of them hovered over Whisper's fallback rig. "Is this thing even wired in? Looks like a museum piece. Pretty sure my phone has better range than that thing." They laughed. The woman didn't turn. She adjusted a dial, scribbled a note, clicked the gain 2 notches left, all without responding. Holbrook stood slowly. She hears things you don't, he said. The younger of the two smirked. Like what? Ghosts? Whisper looked up. Her voice came calm, clean. No anger. Echoes. They stopped. What kind of echoes? She turned her chair, just enough to face them. Just enough for the light to catch her eyes. The kind that tell you when someone's lying about being fine. No reply. Just silence. The young tech cleared his throat. Walked off. The other followed. Later that evening, Holbrook lingered after the shack emptied. She stayed in the chair, still facing the console. He sat across from her. I saw that notebook again, he said quietly. She didn't look up. They were your teams, weren't they? A long pause. Then, some. He hesitated. You ever think about clearing the list? She shook her head once. It's not a list, she said. It's a promise. That night, Holbrook wrote his first entry in his own logbook. Not typed. Not tagged. Just a pen and a name. Viper 3, pulled out under pressure. Let the hesitation tell the truth. He tucked the page behind his diagnostics manual, and kept listening. It was past 2300 when Holbrook stayed behind to run a silent calibration on the fallback antenna. Whisper had stepped out for the first time in hours. Her chair was still warm. The shack lights buzzed low. He moved quietly, opened the lower cabinet under her desk, looking for a frequency readout she'd mentioned the day before. Instead, he found a case. Unlabeled. Old. Tapes. Analog reels. 4 of them. Tucked into a cloth wrap like someone had carried them across a decade. Each reel had a strip of faded tape on the front. Only one had writing on it. Sky Team 4, last contact. Holbrook hesitated. Slid the reel into the shack's secondary deck. Press play. At first, just static. Then breathing. Low. Unsteady. 2 voices. A woman's, clear and calm. Sky 4, this is station. I've got you at 22 minutes past contact window. Say again status. A voice replied. Ragged. Yum. Station, we're not where we were supposed to be. Ridge came down on our path. Then silence. Then, I can't feel my left leg. The woman again. Steady. Sky 4, I need your team leader on the mic. Right now. A new voice. Tighter. Controlled barely. This is Bravo Actual. We've got no nav. We're pinned under overhang. Batteries cut. Then listen closely, she said. Do not move until the wind stalls. It will. I've heard this pattern before. More silence. Copy, he said. Then breathing. Then nothing. Tape ran cold. Holbrook sat back. No ending. No resolution. Just a fragment. He rewound the reel. Played it again. Listened to the tone in her voice. Not what she said, but how she said it. Each phrase measured. Not hopeful. Not hopeless. Just there. Exactly when it needed to be. The next morning, she returned to the shack. Holbrook didn't mention the tape. He didn't have to. She sat, adjusted her headset and said, They didn't make it. He nodded. Quiet. She continued. But they stayed calm. Because someone stayed on the other end. She didn't say it to boast. She said it like she had to remember it too. Like that's what kept her in the chair. That night, Holbrook sat a little straighter at his own console, and listened a little longer after the red light went out. Because silence doesn't always mean it's over. Sometimes, it just means someone's waiting to hear you again. She handed it to him at shift change. No ceremony. No warning. Just held it out over the edge of the desk. A small, soft-worn patch. Black triangle. Stitching frayed. Faint letters barely legible across the bottom. Whisper 9. Holbrook took it without speaking. It felt heavier than cloth. He turned it in his hand. You want me to hang it somewhere? No, she said. Keep it in your kit. He nodded. She looked back at the console. Then added, almost as an afterthought, only use it if they don't come back on time. And you need them to hear someone who's not afraid of their breathing. Holbrook clipped the patch inside his sat bag. Didn't show it to anyone. That night, he rewired the fallback headset to include a secondary channel. Analog, no encryption. Just a direct line. Like hers. Then he wrote something in his notebook. Not a call log. Not a name. Just this. Some voices give you distance. Others bring you home. The next day, Holbrook ran a weather drift sim for a team scheduled to rotate into the range basin. Forecast was good. Satlink green. Everything standard. Still, He checked the Windstall table, the one she kept on paper. Not digital. Written by hand, updated every week. He found something. A pattern. A shift in stall timing that didn't show in the sim. He brought it to her desk. You logged this manually? She nodded. Digital doesn't track real wind. Only what it predicts. He looked at the table again. Has this ever saved a team? She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Because now he understood what kind of memory she carried. She stayed late that night. Didn't speak, just listened. Holbrook stayed too. Not for duty. For the silence between signals. Because something told him, the next call might not come with data. It might come with breathing. And he'd need to be ready. It happened during a routine recon run. Team Echo 6 went out before dawn. 4-man sweep through a quiet valley with low satellite cover. No anomalies on departure. No weather interference. But just before extraction, the comms feed cut. No warning. No interference tone. Just off. Holbrook leaned in. Switched to fallback. No signal. He turned to Whisper's console. Still powered. Still warm. But empty. Her headset rested on the chair. Laid flat. Mike gently coiled like she meant to return. She didn't. He checked the logs. No sign out. No medical call. No transfer notice. She was just gone. He reached for the headset. Hesitated. Then sat in her chair for the first time. It fit him wrong. Too still. Too aware. But he slid the mic on. Dialed the fallback line. Nothing. Just static. Then, faint breathing. Not hers. Not the team's. But close. Panicked. Then a voice broke through. This is Echo 6. We're not where we should be. Another pause. Static thick. Our NAV looped us back. Same ridge twice. We've got 30 minutes of O2 left in the pack. Holbrook didn't speak. He adjusted the gain. Closed his eyes. Listened. There, under the signal drift, the same pattern Whisper had logged last week. Windstalling every 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Which meant, he keyed the mic. Echo 6, you're inside a false loop. Ridge wind cycling. You're misreading the echo. Say again? Move only when the wind drops. Use the compass, not GPS 40 meters east. You'll find a line of rock shadows. Walk them. Another long pause. Then, copy. 22 minutes later, Echo 6 broke through on the primary band, breathing hard. But moving. Alive. They never asked who gave the route. They didn't need to. That night, Holbrook hung the headset on the corner of her chair. Didn't say a word. Just turned off the light. And walked out. By the end of the week, no one had asked where she went. No official notice. No reassignment. Just an empty chair, a worn headset, and a set of logs no one else touched. So Holbrook moved into the seat. Not by rank. Not by order. By necessity. Someone had to be there. He didn't change anything. Kept her notepad where it was. Used the analog fallback channel when it felt wrong to trust the satellite. Left the patch inside his sat bag. Every morning, he checked the windstall pattern and handwrote it in the margin, just like she had. Every evening, he left the chair warm for the next shift, though no one ever took it. One night, a new operator hovered behind him as he adjusted the dials. You always run both channels? Yeah. Even when no one's scheduled? Holbrook nodded. The operator lowered his voice. I heard she never actually served. Just listened. Holbrook turned to face him. She served? How do you know? Because you're here, Holbrook said. And Echo 6 is here. And Viper 3. And Sky Team 4 almost made it. The operator blinked, said nothing. Holbrook looked back at the console. Dialed in a quiet channel. Said into the mic, call in if you're drifting. This line stays open. Then let the silence ride out. That night, when the shift ended, Holbrook didn't log his name. He just wrote a timestamp in the margin of her notebook. And under it a single word. Held. Not saved. Not cleared. Not confirmed. Just held. Because sometimes, that's all a voice needs to be. The shack was quiet that morning. Wind steady outside. No alerts. No inbound calls. No outbound noise. Holbrook sat in the chair. Hers now. His now. Headset resting lightly over one ear. Console green. Fallback channel clear. He didn't speak. Didn't hum. Didn't move much. He just listened. Not for a signal. For its absence. At 0427, a faint carrier tone flickered across channel 3. No voice. Just static shaped like breath. He leaned forward. Didn't respond. Didn't jump. Just wrote in the notebook. 0427, someone's still out there. He didn't log it digitally, didn't mark the event. Because not every call is meant for confirmation. Some are just reminders that not everyone made it, that some still drift, that listening is its own form of return. As the sun rose across the ridge, Holbrook turned off the overhead lights, left the desk lamp on, same one she used, same soft glow. He opened the drawer beneath the console. The patch was still there. He touched it once, thumb over the word whisper, then closed the drawer again. Didn't wear it, didn't need to. He wasn't the voice that told them what to do. He was the one who stayed when the signal faltered, the one who waited, who didn't ask for proof, didn't need coordinates, just the breathing, and the silence. The headset buzzed softly once more. No message, no name. Holbrook leaned back, eyes on the sky through the cracked window. Didn't speak, just kept the channel open. Because someone, somewhere, still might need to hear. You're not alone. I'm still here. Even if he never said it out loud.